Okay, we're live, Tim.
Hi, Tim Arrowwood, People's Home Equity. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It's my Friday, so I'm pretty excited. So I leave tomorrow. I'm going to go to an event. I've probably talked to you guys about the core training through the years, and they're a coaching company. I'm involved with them. And we have a summit coming up in San Antonio, so I'll be there Thursday and Friday. And what's interesting is I get to it's coaching for real estate agents and lenders, so we get to collaborate and things like that. So if you got any particular questions that are burning questions that maybe I can get some answers to, be glad to ask. So what I want to talk about today was optimizing your database and working your database. So I'm going to put somebody on the spot.
Don't you do it.
Don't you do it.
I'm glad to have our first volunteer. So tell me about your database. Do you have a database? Okay. So how are we going to fix this? If we're going to invite people, we're going to make one. All right. So I talk about marketing to your past clients. What I was going to show when this comes through. This lady, her name is Marjorie Adam. She's a coach with the core. She's out of Charlottesville, relatively small market, probably like ours, maybe combined for the Tri-Cities. And what she was talking about is the total number of leads that she got from her system, just marketing to her database. She got now this is 2018, so this is a little bit older, but in 2018 she got 142 leads just from her database. And the total income that she calculated from those 142 leads was $375,000 just from her database. She may do Zillow, she may do some other stuff, I have no idea, but this was just talking about her marketing her to her database. Now, it doesn't make sense if you just got into the business, you don't have a database to market to and those kind of things. So, but she's probably been in the business a little while, but that was 88 deals for $375,000 in commissions off of 142 leads from her database. So I always think that we need to have pillars to the business. So in my world, obviously you all real estate agents are one of the big pillars to my business, but I've got we've got the next big one for us is our past clients. And then another smaller part of it would be, we have a lot of reviews, so we're starting to get a lot of organic stuff off of Google and other things, which we've invested in getting that out there and working in the Google Places and things like that. But I'll probably have 2 or 3 a month that just say, hey, I found you, you got 5 stars, and we've got a lot of reviews, and like talking. Sometimes they're tire kickers, sometimes all they care about is rate. But it's becoming more and more prominent. So we've and Misty's obviously taking care of social media and doing some of those things. But the big one for us is realtors and past clients. So we feel pretty comfortable about how we take care of past clients. And the formula that the core has taught for years is having a system. Well, first of all, you got to start with that database. So in terms of so what are we going to do, Alexa? Are we going to start with a spreadsheet, or what are we going to do? So we have to have some sort of a database. So you got to get all of our past clients, their phone numbers, their email addresses, all those different things. So I've worked with a lot of different realtors through the years, and just let's just get it into something. If it's in a spreadsheet, then let's just put it in a spreadsheet. You can manipulate it, and then later on, if you move up to a CRM or something like that, then it's easy to map that stuff into the CRM. So I think that's that's the first step. You got to have the data.
You can import it in there easy.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
From a CSV file.
Yeah. Now with that, let's say since we're picking on Alexa here, because this came up. You mentioned that we had the event with the drive-in theater. Well, we've done that. This is the second time in the last. Well, we did it in the fall, and we did it now. So you got to know who to invite. So you got to have a database. So with that, are there ways to go back through the MLS to find out your past closings and things like that? Can you get that data that way?
Yes.
You can. Okay.
Well, it would be a little bit time-consuming.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think that to me it's so valuable because their past clients, they already know you, they already like you. Well, maybe. they already trust you. I mean, you know the ones that you don't. It's like, yeah, we're good. I'll never call you again. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go cash this check, and then I'm gonna burn you in effigy. You know, so you know, those are those clients. But the majority, thank you. But the majority of them, thank you, Joe. So the majority of them, I mean, that's the good stuff. You know, and I've been in the business for 10 years. I'm taking care of the children of past clients. I'm taking care of, you know, obviously last year was a huge year for refinances, but, you know, but I invested the time and the money in the beginning to keep up with them, and it's beginning to pay off. It paid off a long time ago, but, you know, the first 3 or 4 years, I'm like, is this worth the time? Is this worth the effort? And so, so as an idea of things that, now that I have my notes from Marjorie, one of the things that she talked about that she did, one of the first thing was, well, again, the first thing is to have a list, right? So you got the names, phone numbers, email addresses. One of the things she does is have an annual review call. So it's an excuse to call. You know, you set it up in advance. Maybe you've sent them a letter that says, hey, I'm gonna, you know, it's time, you know, it's maybe you key it off of their closing anniversary. Say, I'm gonna send them a letter. I'm gonna be calling. We're gonna talk about your situation, where you're at. You know, you're gonna fill in. You know, I talk about an all about you form. That's one of the things that we do. You know, we ask everybody to fill out an all about you form, so we understand, you know, what their hobbies are, what their kids' names are, what their animals' names are, and things like that. But, you know, to develop that relationship, I think you need to know them. So, you know, when you're driving around the car with them, or you've shown them 30 properties, then if you're making notes about their likes and their dislikes, and, you know, the kids, you know, this one's gonna be in jail one of these days, one of these kids, this one is, you know, that kind of stuff. So you say, hey, how is Joey? How is Joey doing, right? Is he out of reform school yet? You know, and that kind of stuff. So,
Do you get their anniversaries and birthdays and stuff?
anniversaries and birthdays, and so.
I think the Tim Stout group does that. Don't y'all
You
have
guys
a
do it?
list and
Yeah,
database?
we send cards, but I feel like we've seen a lot of results too when we do the cards, but then we also just touch base. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And then some stuff will, as soon as you reach out to them, they're like, and you don't ask for something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Well, anyway, I was just talking to you know, my buddy Jerry, and he was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Anyway,
Yeah.
just see how you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, then Megan was telling me that she might, and I'm like, oh, great, that'd be a cool conversation. You know, but once you start talking to them, they're like, oh,
Right.
they feel kind of guilty.
Yeah.
They start taking your stuff.
The guilt clothes, I like that. You know, there's the brain surgeon clothes, there's puppy dog clothes, there's the guilt clothes, right? You know, so I like that. So the end of the review call, you know, and you're setting yourself up to be the realtor for life. So, I mean, now the conversation is, you know, property values have really gone up. You know, what's new? And if you remember their things about their family, you say, well, you still working at Eastman? Well, no, I'm doing this, or I got a promotion, looks like I might be moving. Ding, 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 you know, it's like you might want to sell, you want to do things like that. So, you know, it's what I'm looking at is excuses to call people and to just check on them. You know, and you'll know when you're talking to people if there's an opportunity to ask for that lead or ask for that referral. But, you know, having the structure to say that I know when they closed, and I'm just going to make it a point through that month. I'm going to call them on that month to say, haven't talked to you in a while. It's the anniversary of when you guys bought. Just checking up on you. You got a minute? You know, and you're going to, you know, review their situation, like for us, we have events, so it's an excuse for Misty primarily to call my database, and instead of always calling, asking for something, like you said, that's the key. It's not, you know, if you call 2 or 3 times and you invite them to things and you're not asking for anything, and then you do ask, it's like there's an obligation, like the obligation clause. Like,
Well, and like I like to call it, you've made deposits, so now you can make a withdrawal.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so it's nice to, you know, when we had our drive-in thing, it was like, it's fun. Like, it's not, you know, I saw a lot of people there that are old friends, and so, but inevitably when we do something like that, we have our pumpkin pie giveaway in the fall. Inevitably, I'll get a couple of refinances and a purchase out of it, and that cost me, last year it cost me $300 in pies. You know, so it's a pretty good investment, you know, to get a couple of refinances and a purchase out of $300 worth of pies. So, but you know, she's talking about her things. So the first is annual review call. and I will say that I'm not seeing this here. There's actually a cover letter that she sends. Oh, here we go. So she's like her script. I want to give you a call to go over your annual review. It's going to take about 10, 15 minutes. You know, I'd first like to update our database to make sure we have everything current with you. Go for info, spouses, kids, emails, whatever's missing. How's the family? How's the business? You know, have you ever heard the acronym? The acronym. If I can remember the acronym, what is it? It is FORD. Family, Occupation, Recreation, and Dreams. So when you're talking to somebody, you always think about what do I talk about when I call them? Okay, I got their number, I got the database, I'm gonna call them and well, ask them about those 4 things. You know, ask them, how's the family? You still working? Occupation, where you work? You know, what are you guys doing for fun these days? Oh, we put in a pool last year. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then their dreams. You know, so where you guys, you know, where are you gonna be in the next 5 years? Is it retirement time or? So remembering that acronym is helpful. It's like some people don't like Fords, but this is a good Ford, okay? So, but this is, you know, she's going over her script, you know, how's the family, ask about the home, are you enjoying the house, how are you enjoying the neighborhood, you know, would you like an update on updated market analysis? You know, values are through the roof right now. Oh, I was wondering what ours probably, you know, I saw the neighbors been selling and, you know, I wonder maybe now's a good time. So, you know, you're asking about the family and all those different things, but you know, how you enjoying the house, how you know, so you're just, you know, you're offering referrals to contractors that you work with. You know, we thought about putting a pool in. Well, you know, you better have a pool contractor that you know of to say, well, let me make a phone call for you, or here I got a name, I'll email you these guys. You know, or a landscaper or those types of things. So, you know, it's an excuse to call, and you know, being a little bit prepared. You know, she's asking all kinds of questions, asking about their lender, double check to know about your interest rate. You know, maybe it's something we can get you you know, maybe it's time to refinance for you. Financial questions. You know, do you have a will or a trust? Do you have a financial planner, CPA, insurance agent? Questions that are a little nosy, but you know, if you're thinking about them, you're trying to help them, then you really need to have a will, right? You really need to have a will. So, they want to do, okay? Because I love you. I'm going to make a call, and I'm going to have somebody call you. I mean, my favorite attorney is going to call you. He's going to set up, because you really need to have a will, right? I don't care who you are, what you're doing, but you need to have a will. And you know your relationship with people well enough, whether you can do that or not. But you know, there are certain people that, and you know, my parents, like, you all need a will. Yeah, okay. All right, we'll let all the sons duke it out, you know, after they pass, you know. So, the other thing that is recommended that I haven't done well, and it's called A Letter from the Heart. So, who in here has read the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? 1, 2, 3. No, you need to read it. You need to read it. So if you're reading, it's really good. To me, it's a foundational book.
I think we have it in our library, do we?
Yeah. So.
We do.
Yeah, so check it out today, and the library check out things on the
That's
cork
right.
board.
So it's you know, I read it. It was one of the first books that was given to me. I was probably 22, 23 years old, and a regional manager, I sold industrial equipment, and a regional manager gave me that book and said, this will change your life. I'm like, okay, well, hey, if it'll change your life, then I probably need to read it, right? Hopefully it's in a good way. But it was really good because I didn't have a lot of background in business. I didn't have a lot of background, didn't have a lot of training in a lot of things, and it covered a lot of bases for me. You know, everything from time management to there's just a lot of stuff in there. It's really packed with a lot of stuff. One of the concepts, the reason I bring it up, there's one concept when Stephen Covey is the author, and he talks about trustworthiness and how that, you know, why do you trust some people and some people you don't trust? Right? So he marks it up to a combination of character and competence. So like, talk about a dentist. Well, he's a really good dentist. I mean, this guy's amazing, but you never know when you go to him whether he's going to fill that tooth because he has a boat payment due or you really need it, right? So there's one guy that you don't trust. He's good at what he does, but you're not really sure about his character. And then you got the other guy, maybe he's your neighbor. He's such a nice guy. His kids are amazing, but he's a butcher in your mouth, right? He's just not that good, so you don't trust him. So you got to have both character and competence. So to me, that helped me get my mind around, well, you know, why are there certain people that I really like them, but you know, I wouldn't use him for my realtor, you know? I mean, we're best buddies, but, you know, he does not have it together, whatever that would be. So when we're talking about one of the ideas about marketing that we're told to do is do two types of mailings. One is a letter from the heart. One is an evidence of success. So through the years I've tried, sometimes I've mailed, sometimes I haven't, but I'm committed to doing this year to doing, even if it's not mailing, do an email or a video or something like that. But the concept is with a letter from the heart, you're talking about yourself and just saying, it's kind of like a miniature version of that Christmas letter you get from that aunt that you never, you know.
That's exactly what I was thinking
Exactly,
about.
yeah, it's like, yeah, we took the dog, or, you know, you pick a little topic, and I remember I wrote one time, it was on my dad, who's in his 80s. He called me up and said, I got a leak under the house in my plumbing, and I need for you to come over and help me fix it. Now, I'm a big guy, and it was in the crawl space. I really did not want to do this, and so, because Dad needed it, I went and did it. Now, this consisted of, there was a waistline. It wasn't the sewer line, but it was the waistline like from the sink. One of the pipes had fallen, and the entire basement, or the crawl space, was just like garbage grinder stuff that had been dropping in there, and it was nasty. And it had to crawl on your elbows, and so I used, I laid out, I took bags of lime, right? I fixed the piping, first of all. I took bags of lime and I put it all down there, and then I put plastic and all that stuff. So anyway, needless to say, it was nasty. But I wrote a little note about that. It's like, there's just things you do for your dad that you wouldn't do for anybody else. Right? Do not call me about your plumbing issues, right? I will not answer the phone. I will not call you back. Yeah. So, but I wrote a little one pager on that, and so I sent it out, and I got all kinds of people that are, they were writing me back, they were emailing me. I read that was funny, or this was, and it was something about the character. Then what's supposed to happen, and I'm the worst at this. We do a lot of these mixed ones. The other thing is something about your competence. So having another mailer that would say, hey, we salvaged this deal, or we helped navigate these people through, first-time home buyers, or, somebody else couldn't do this, or here's an idea. So something about our competency in doing mortgages. So when people see that, it would be like, not only is Tim a good guy, but he's actually good at what he does, and so it takes away some, like he's trustworthy. So the idea with some of the mailings and the marketing is that, you're hitting both of those things. So that's the letter of the heart. What does she say? Allows me to connect with my clients in a personal way, shows that I'm a fun person to spend time with, not just a realtor or a salesperson, and invites them to connect with me or reach out to catch up. Okay? So, let's see. One of the things that we do, the annual review call, one of the things, she's doing it for an annual review call. We do something called a letter of the week call. And this was really, I did it in the beginning, but Misty likes to talk to people, so I let Misty call people. But what it is, once you have your database and you've got this, everybody's last name in one of those cells, all you need to do is sort by last name, and you've got, okay, I'm gonna call all the A's this week. Oh, there's only one, great, I just need to call one of them. And then next week there's 3 B's, so I call all 3 B's, and then the C's aren't any for whatever reason this week, so you get a buy. And so there's, how many letters in the alphabet? 26? It's been a while since I've met. So 26 letters in the alphabet, 52 weeks a year. So if you call a letter of the week, you'll call your database twice in a year, right? It's all spread out through the year. It's not really rocket science, but it's, there's a theme day that Misty has. Tuesday is her letter of the week call. So now it's like, oh, there were 15 people in this particular week, or there was 4. We get to the Z's. Okay, we don't have anything I can take. I don't have to do that many this week. Zingarelli? Is that what it is? No, it's somebody else. So, squirrel. But when we're looking at doing things consistently, that's a theme day for us. So Tuesday, even if we don't do anything else, we know that Tuesday is going to be making letter of the week calls. So again, it goes back to you got to have the list to start with. So you get frustrated when you pull up and you're going to make your Tuesday update calls on Tuesday and you don't have any. You got to go find the list, so you get distracted. You just don't do it because it's not easy. So we've invested in a CRM that's pretty powerful that we run reports. We get all kinds of different things out of it. And so I can look at past clients. I can look at past clients whose rates are between this and this. So there's we've you know, it's been a long time coming, but we've got something to work with. So I think that allows us to touch them at least twice a year. We're gonna have 2 client events a year. We have the pumpkin pie event in the fall, and then we've got, you know, we've kind of done the drive-in twice, but there's a reason to call. So when Misty's calling for her Letter of the Week calls, well, you know, we talk about, what's my theme? What am I supposed to say when I talk to them? It's like, well, you know, they got an event coming up. Let's make sure I wanna make sure that you're getting our mailings. I wouldn't have hate for you to miss the pumpkin pie this fall. I said, you know, I haven't gotten one the last few years. Well, I mean, has something changed? So you're getting updating their email addresses, physical addresses. You know, we've called people and, you know, it's been a little while, we've made a mistake and waited to call them, and they've already sold and bought somewhere else, right? Well, okay, they still know us, but I've got people that didn't, like somebody I'm working with right now. I did their loan a long time ago. They worked with somebody else for their second house, and I'm still inviting them to get pumpkin pies. I mean, I still like it, even though you didn't eat it. I don't love you, but I still like it. So they're coming and getting pumpkin pies, and then the next thing you know, yeah, we didn't have a good experience with the last guy, so we're gonna buy a new house, we'd like to talk to you. So, you know, why not? So but I think the consistency is key. You know, we're constantly keeping up with people. Don't do as much mailings as we used to do, but, you know, paper mailings, but actually we do birthday cards for, should be good birthday. So my very first client still gets a birthday card every year. And we also do a letter of the first home anniversary card. Did you get on one? Okay, good.
Josh did too.
Good. So the idea is that, you know, we have a happy home anniversary for the first year. We don't do it at the subsequent years, but, you know, it's a nice thing we set up. And then we also do, again, looking at ways to reach out to the clients. So as I'm thinking about just how we do it, we're calling at least twice a year. We're having 2 or 3 events a year. We're mailing a birthday card, and we're also, like the January following your closing, we're gonna get a copy of your initial closing disclosure, and we're gonna mail it to you in January. Like, hey, you know, sometimes you misplace this, you need this for your taxes, when you do those things. So trying to come up with ways to keep in touch with them. And we also, you guys should be on Homebody, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think about that?
I did like the trial and put some of my clients.
Oh, you did?
in it
Okay.
too. But I know like a lot of the values I went in and updated. But I mean, it did start a couple conversations, cause like
Yeah.
one guy was like, is that really my value? And I was like, let me look into it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. How about you? Have you looked at Homebody? You may be going to Ariel or.
A little bit, has the home valuations and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Moved down to.
Okay, yeah.
And so, we all those drips.
So we dropped all of our past clients into, I guess it's a service called Homebody, and it's every month you get a statement from your bank about your assets and your investments and things like that. You don't get a statement on your house. You know, so this is supposed to take that place. So it's telling you that, you know, the market is improving. Actually, our house is really close from what I'm seeing, but it's kind of exciting. My wife she's like, hey, did you see the new number? Just because, I mean, the credit value's been crazy. She's like, you see the new number? Do you think that's right? And so there's a place within there for somebody to say, hey, you know, can we get a professional look at this and see if this is really, this is the real value. And so we keep track of who we close the deal with. So if anybody comes to us and says, hey, is this a real number? Then we just get you guys back together, so that it's an excuse to give you, maybe they're interested. Maybe they're talking about refinancing, maybe they're not, maybe they're talking about, they just wanna know. There's being nosy neighbors or whatever. But that's just one thing that we do, and I think we can't spend $100, $150 a month on that, but I'm able to push videos through it to people, and the open rate is astounding. I mean, a lot of direct mail stuff, email stuff. It's got to be 60+%.
Yeah.
Which if you're doing emails, like 3%, 2.5%. But to have that kind of an open rate is amazing. So it has become a portal into people's living rooms, as it were. So within Homebot, and by the way, everybody that like you said, you were able to go in and create your own profile for you as a realtor, and then you can put people in there, and they can get that report. They're gonna see my face on it, even if they weren't, it's gonna be co-branded. But that's okay, because if they work with another lender, they probably just need an upgrade anyway, so. But it's available to you all, so if you, you could just take, like I put my parents on there, I put their house on, I put, just different people that I run into, and it's a conversation starter, it's really what it is, so. And there's a way to integrate BombBomb videos into it, and I can do some push videos, and those are it's really you never know when you invest in something. I'm going to spend $100 a month or $200 a month. How is it going to be worth it? One of my coaches said, "Oh, I do it," and I said, "Well, I'll give it a try," and it's been a good investment. So events, letter of the heart, annual reviews, let me see. How to organize a client event, just call Misty. Seriously, we'd be more than happy to help. We spend a lot of money on things that don't work. So if you've got people that you know and like and trust, and you want to have a little event, we're all in. If that means we're buying Chick-fil-A, or we've done after hours before with a lot of stuff. What do we do now? Who do we get together with? But if you pumpkin patch, I've had agents that's like, I'll take care of all the food or the snacks, and we'll do a pumpkin patch in the fall, and we'll just come and mingle a little bit. And so anything that would be helpful. I've got a designer that does my postcards. She's really inexpensive. If you want some help with there, we'll give us the dates, and we'll get her to put something together. I've got a postage machine at the office. You got mailings you want to do, just bring me a box and we'll just run them through the thing. So we want to help. If that's something that would be if it's profitable for us. So you never know until you try.
We appreciate you all doing our escape room
Yes, I'm
next
excited
week.
about that.
Yeah.
So,
In a couple of weeks.
I just hope that somebody will let me out. I'm afraid that somebody's gonna put me in my own escape room, and it's gonna be a joke. There is no way out.
Just all leave.
Yeah, just all leave. It's like, oh, we're over having wings.
20th.
Jeff's still like banging on the walls trying to get out. So
Yeah, that's Thursday, May the 20th.
I'll do Mr. Kool-Aid and get out of there, right?
You broke our.
Yeah. So.
And I told Misty that actually came up in our Grow Group Saturday breakfast, of how we could connect and grow as a family and team more. Somebody mentioned an escape room.
Is that right?
And then like a week later, she sent me an email and said, we're thinking about doing a grow group for you. Escape room for you all.
So we'll, before, things started to loosen up, there is such a thing as a virtual escape room.
Yeah.
And we looked at that, but it was kind of weird. You've got somebody that's got a camera.
That's what
on
she
their
was
head,
telling
and she's looking
Joey,
around,
yeah.
And you're telling them what to do, and it's like, it's still expensive too, so. That's my, as far as the database, it's been a significant, I would say right now it's probably 20 to 25% of my business is past clients and people coming from the past clients. So it's, you just gotta start early, keep track of stuff, and then, but it's never too late either. They're gonna be happy to hear from you. When Alexa starts calling and we have the drive-in with Alexa.
No, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
Yeah, of course.
Lolo had so much fun. I couldn't hardly get her to quit breathing.
That could be your letters from the heart. You could just talk about Lola.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that event, now you guys did the drive-in last year, didn't you? Or did you? I wasn't able to make it. There's something came up I wasn't able. Did you all have a good turnout?
Yeah, it was
You
good.
did?
Missed the car battery died, it was great.
Oh, yeah. Whenever we have
It
that
was
event.
good because we did it on a Wednesday night?
Yeah.
We're like, man, it's a Wednesday night, middle of the school semester.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if it's gonna be anything. It was a really good turnout.
Yeah.
A lot of people like really grateful about it. Kids
And it's
loved
not that
it.
expensive. I
Yeah,
think
it
we
was-
rented the whole place for $500 or something
Oh,
like
wow.
that. And what's weird is like bring your own DVD. Well,
That's what I thought. I was like, I wonder how that works, but we saw the little thing.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
PlayStation.
I was thinking, we may get to watch previews the whole night, but they may not. So I'm like, I'll let them worry about that. I'm in my truck. I'm not like. But when we did it last fall, the guys. This is being recorded, so yeah, they said it's a lot easier if you just drop by Redbox and pick a DVD. So
Because I remember Misty asking us for what we think about different movies, yeah.
Yeah. So I picked Minions, and in retrospect, I would prefer to watch Despicable Me. I think it's funnier, but anyway.
It was cute.
It was cute. It was cute. So, but it's just it's fun stuff, and people see I get to dress up, and it's we've done before. We did for a while. We did the Johnson City Cardinals. We would rent out the place and have people come for that, and we had a dunking booth. Yeah, it was before you. Do you remember the dunking booth?
I didn't get to come. I
Yeah.
remember you putting
Okay.
that on, but I didn't.
So we had a dunking booth, and it was Dunk Your Banker. So I'd have an old suit and tie on, and I'd be on the little thing, and then people would buy tickets, and the money would go to charity. But they were trying to dunk the banker. So I had a super soaker, and I'm like, you throw like a girl. She's I'm a girl. Like I'm squirting her, whoever it is. And so it was a lot of fun, and getting up and out. I did learn one thing: is don't wear cotton Dockers in the dunk booth, because they get heavier and heavier, and they get bigger.
Jeans do too, I
Jeans
think.
do.
Yeah.
So like, make sure when you climb out of that thing. So that's my we'll talk about database today.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.